Imagine having access to the latest news at your fingertips. Introducing the newly rebranded and improved Daily Nation website. With our innovative online flipping page feature, you can read the newspaper just like you would in print. Plus, with our subscription-based model, you will get access to exclusive content, archives, and more. So why wait? Sign up now and experience the future of news. Daily Nation, now at your fingertips.
Good evening, our esteemed viewers, and welcome to the National Economic Indaba Show. My name is Nakiwe Simpungwe, and as usual, I'm your host. To those that are joining us via our social media platforms on Millennium TV, we would like to welcome you as well. Those who are joining us on the National Economic Indaba Show Facebook page, please, you're very welcome to the show, as well as those that are joining us via channel 95 on Topstar. Please stay tuned. Today we have a very exciting guest for you. His name is Dr. Raghvendra Sharma, and he is the Dean of the School of Business at the Texila American University. Doc, you're welcome to the National Economic Indaba Show.
Thank you very much.
We've had you on the business day, but we're very excited that you could, take time again off your busy schedule. We had told you that we would want you back on the show, and here you are.
My pleasure.
We don't take it for granted. We know that you're busy, but thank you so much for always availing yourself.
My pleasure.
Okay, so today, we are discussing education as a business and also as something that can spur economic growth. So how do you believe education can drive economic growth in a country like Zambia?
See, everything what a country can achieve, it's a consequence of the quality and the quantity of education that is made available to the people of a country. It can be any country, right? Say, for example, particularly it becomes more important to the African countries like Zambia. Like next century, right? The previous century was, belonging to Europe. And this century is belonging to the Asian countries like China, like India. And the next century will belong to Africa. So how the education can be looked at as an instrument, right, that can bring in a lot of changes in terms of economic growth. You see, there are only few ways you can acquire these skill sets. One of them is education. I'm not saying that education is the only way to acquire the education that can contribute to the economic growth of a country. We have seen that there are so many entrepreneurs who are not formally educated, but still they are doing extremely well in their respective areas, right? But having said that, you cannot undermine the importance of education. Maybe 15 years back, 20 years back, that might be easy when the competition was not so great. It might be easy for somebody who is not formally educated to start an entrepreneurial idea and they can thrive on their idea. But now because competition in comparison to the yesterday years, it is very high. Now, you need not to compete only with the Zambian organizations, right? Now the companies are coming from the other parts of the world also. How can you compete with them? You can compete with them only through skill acquisition, right? It means that if you want to economically grow as a country, the only way left with the country is to make sure that the education system in that country is robust, grounded. It is accessible by the citizen of that country, right? That is the way they can skill up of their skill sets. You see, what skills might be reasonably working for them 10 years back might not be same today. And it will not be the same 10 years down the line from today. It means that after 10 years maybe, you will see that more complex skill sets will be required. The job might look like same. Say for example, still you can have the marketing executive 10 years after from now. You can have the still medical practitioners 10 years after from now. But the quality and the skill sets required by the medical practitioners 10 years down the line, marketing executives 10 years down the line, human resource practitioners 10 years down the line will be quite different, right? And education plays a very important and significant role in developing the skill sets to make sure that economy can grow. You see, economy can grow only through industrialization. Is there any way out? I don't think so. Any economy of any country can grow without industrialization to take place. So, if a country, in terms of economic growth, if they want to grow, they have to make sure that the industry is growing. An environment which is friendly for the industry to excel is made available to the industry. Now, the next part is how the industry can grow. There is only one way left with the industry to grow, with the help of the skilled human resource. So education, according to me, according to my understanding, is the most important thing that should be made available to the citizens of any country, including Zambia, so that the citizens are capable of acquiring complex skill sets. They make themselves more employable resource to the organization. Organizations are excelling in their respective business arenas, and that's how the economic growth is achieved by a country. So for economic growth, education is very important in today's scenario, particularly because without formal education, the complex skill sets are very difficult to acquire by anybody who is looking for a career in any area. It can be anything, not only management, it can be anything.
So, Doc, students, obviously, before they even graduate to get onto the job market, how, does a university, in this case, we give an example of Texila University, how can Texila University, equip its students, to contribute to Zambia's economic development, even before they graduate and get into the job market?
Okay, what Texila management has thought, I think it is true not only to the Zambia but other African countries also, because Africa is a continent into the different phase of its evolution and development, right? So there are three important dimensions, I should say, that has to be addressed by any higher education institutions or universities. First major concern for any organization is medicine, because healthcare services are not up to the mark, isn't it, in comparison to the global standards. And then public health. And then management. You see, because this country has a huge potential to grow, because it is one of the largest exporters. If I am not wrong, this is either first or second largest copper exporting country of the world, right? It means that this country has a huge potential, and copper is a very precious material in terms of its uses. Copper is used in so many industrial purposes. So what I'm highlighting, industry is going to grow. Medical practitioners are required to address the healthcare needs, and people, because of the poor infrastructure or not to the global standard, or not matching to the global standards in terms of public health. These three areas, right, have been identified by the Texila management. Therefore, we thought of envisioning the programs that can be world-class program, ensuring these three big gaps which are relevant to Zambia. Right? Maybe the kind of medical practitioners, the public health practitioners Zambia is looking for today, after 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, they might not be looking for that, because the country would be into the different stage of development. At that time, it might be more requiring for the professionals who have the management skill sets, because at that time, maybe after 50 years from now, the industry would be into the altogether different phase for Zambia. So that's how we try to identify the gaps, and we try to provide the suitable solutions, workable solutions, considering all these aspects.
Great stuff. Now, how do you collaborate, with government agencies, for instance, to ensure that, the programs that you do at, Texila University, align with the country's economic priorities, Zambia's economic priorities in this case?
Okay, great. Let me put it like this. In terms of Zambia, right, in the context of Zambia, I'm talking about, Texila American University is collaborating and signing memorandum of understanding with government agencies, private organizations, and ministries of the government of Zambia also, like say for example health ministry, like say for example Ministry of Education, right? Like Ministry of Education and the Higher Education Authority of Zambia, right? These are not just the regulators of the country, right? They are the institutions and the organizations and entities which are not only providing a regulatory framework to the higher education institutions and universities in Zambia, but they are also thinking and planning, and they are strategizing for the future educational needs of the country, right? Because we are into the partnership and signing memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Education, Higher Education Authority of Zambia, ZMA, ZACI, ICTAS, and the private organizations also. So that's how we come to know that what are the future needs in terms of educational development of the students and in terms of human resource development as a whole in the country, right? Because these government agencies have better access to the information because they are the one who are collecting the data from the common man across Zambia, right? So they publish reports every year or every second year. They publish various types of reports. We get into these reports. We invite the speakers from the different government agencies, right? And we talk to them. We have meetings with them, and that's how we come to know that what are the future educational demands of the country, and we design our program in accordance with them so that we can contribute to the growth and development of the country as a whole by ensuring that the kind of human capital the country needs, it is made available to them in the right time.
Now what role do you see technology, playing in enhancing the quality of accessibility of education in this country?
Okay, it is important to highlight over here that first of all, that's very interesting question, right? Because technology has become the buzzword nowadays. You see, everyone you see who is a young, particularly, they are talking about technology, right? Technology is one aspect. Another form of technology is coming forth in terms of artificial intelligence. Okay, so coming back to your first part of the question, how can technology be instrumental in the development of a country, particularly educational landscape of a country, right? Like there was a way when I used to be in the college and schools. There were faculty members who used to use the blackboard and the chalks at that point of time. Now it has become history, right?
Absolutely.
Now, yes, technology happened to be a very rather I should say technology has brought in very disruptive changes to all industries, including education. The way I was taught is quite different than that of I am teaching the students now, today, right? Like, one very important thing technology has done to the education across the globe, and my experience is it has happened to the large extent due to the COVID. It happened to be, it emerges as a blessing in disguise, isn't it? Like technology adoption by the higher education institution was not to the large extent before COVID. But what happened after 2020, when everything was closed down, right? The world was almost locked down, isn't it? For at least 40 days and few months, it was locked down. And when it was opened, it was put to certain conditions to be followed by the organizations, right? Considering security concerns. Now, how technology has come in to transform this entire education sector, not only education, others also, but I'm highlighting education sectors, right? Earlier, most common way of teaching was students were required to come to the universities, higher education institutions, and they were required to study in the face-to-face mode, right? They were required to sit in the classrooms, traditional methods, and they are required to complete their education there in the face-to-face mode. After 2020, organizations have realized that technology can be used to break these territorial barriers. Like, say for example, any student, residing any part of Zambia, not only Zambia, maybe other parts of the world, because we are an international university, so we have students not only from Zambia, we have students from South Africa, we have students from Malawi, Botswana, and other neighboring countries also, Zambia being the first one, right? Means earlier it might be a problem for them to come and join our program. There were many considerations. You see, when you go and decide to pursue an academic program in some other country, it puts you under different sort of challenges, right? But how technology has helped and broken these territorial barriers and territorial challenges, you need not to come now. Same quality of education will be made available to your place at your comfort at a very affordable price. Right? So technology has brought in tremendous change. In fact, if you ask my personal opinion, technology has drastically changed the way the education used to be imparted in the yesteryears, right? Now you need not to visit the educational institution. Not only in country like Zambia, but in developed countries like America, Western Europe, you see online education is getting more and more popular, particularly after COVID. In countries like India, in countries like China, Southeast Asian countries. But to a country like Zambia, it is more important. Why? I'm telling you. It is very difficult because Zambia is into the infancy of its economic development, right? It is not a developed country. It is still in its infancy. It has started its journey. It will get to the developed stage after some years, isn't it? But now, today is a different scenario. It is not easy for somebody who is residing maybe hundreds of kilometers far from Lusaka, because most of the educational institutions and universities are centered around Lusaka, capital city, right? Now, far east, far northern part of Zambia, it will not be easy for the people from there from these areas and come to Lusaka study, because cost will be an issue then, right? We are making education available to them at their doorstep, and this is possible only through the technology. Right? Now we have digital platforms. Now we have various types of learning management systems. We have various types of ERP. We have various types of tools like campus management tools, wherein all the students' data, study material, and whatever the students is requiring to be taught inside the classroom is made available to them on the digital platform. Right? So digital transformation has changed and transformed every industry. Education is one of them which is drastically changed. Right? And it is user-friendly also. Nowadays, you see, I'm happy that when I arrived in Zambia, isn't it? I was happy to know that we have 4G connection over here. I didn't expect that in Zambia when I'm going, we will have the 4G connection, right? But for a country like India, which is largest populous country now, which is world's 5th largest economy now, before 15 years, there was no 4G. Hardly it is 12 to 15 years when we have the 4G services. Now we have 5G services also, and the world's most affordable data plans are available in India. Having said that, I didn't expect that I'm going to have 4G services in Zambia, but I have. What I'm highlighting over here, technology has increased the pace of change, right? The way other countries used to experience the change few years back, when these services, these technological changes were not available, these technological competencies were not available. Now because they are available, it is only because of the technology, right? Imagine that if we would not have required infrastructure, maybe IT infrastructure, maybe internet infrastructure, ICT infrastructure, it would not have been possible for a university like Texas American University to impart knowledge without affecting the quality of education to somebody who is hundreds of kilometers far from the university premises. So technology, of course, undoubtedly, it has played a very substantial, very important, and very disruptive changes it has brought to the education sector. It has broken, the most important thing it has broken, it has made the education affordable, and it has made the education accessible by breaking the territorial barriers to many of the beneficiaries and students who couldn't afford face-to-face learning.
Is it possible that it also has brought some disadvantages when there is no that human to human, conversation, when it has to go through, a gadget? Is it possible that it might disadvantage the learner somehow?
That's correct. That's correct. You see, there is nothing in this world which only have advantages. Nothing. You see, we need oxygen to live. We cannot survive without oxygen, right? But pure and too much of oxygen, we cannot survive only in oxygen environment, right? Too much of everything is bad, right? And technology in particular, when, technology is good when you are using it. It becomes bad. It becomes a monster when it is using you. Right?
Could you just explain that?
Yes, of course. You see, let me put it like this. When you are using a technology, it is listening to your instructions. When you are looking for some information on the digital platform, you just go to the Google, type the keywords, and you will get a lot of references, right? And you can collect the information which you are looking for. You are using the technology, it is good for you. But when it is the other way around, when technology started using you, it becomes a monster. Like, you go to the social media. As they say, right, when I was in college days, right, I was told that social media helps people to get in touch with their lost relationships, lost networks, lost friends. Is it true today? If you ask me, it is not. Social media has gone to altogether different level where it has brought in new set of challenges and the stressors, the factors that causes stress in the young minds, right? So technology is not good, it becomes monster when it start using you. How come? Say for example, social media, you can claim that there are lot many advantages of social media. Of course there are. I don't decline that, right? But at the same time, if you do a cost benefit analysis, you will see there are more harm it is doing to the youngsters. They are spending much time on the social media. I cannot agree to this point. There are people who used to say, okay, fine, they are using productive things. They are doing productive things on social media, right? It's completely, I don't agree to this idea, right? Reason, mostly they are wasting their time into watching the reels. Reels is not the reality, right? TikTok. It brought you into altogether fake world, right? It means that it is bringing you, it is dragging you away from the reality, right? So technology is good when you are using it, but you have to use it judiciously, because the moment you decide to deviate from your purpose of uses of technology, it started using you. Because it is very easy to get attracted towards, bad things, right? You are just searching through the social media pages, isn't it? And some undesirable material comes and pop in, right? It attracts your attention because it is odd. You are tempted to look at it, isn't it? And once you are tempted, you click on this, and then similar kind of things will come on your wall, always, isn't it? So what is happening actually? Social media is being told to the users that it is free of cost. But let me tell you, if there is anything in the world which is told to you that it is free of cost, you are the price being paid for it, right? You are wasting your time. So your time that you spend on the social media, not only social media, any media which is of no use for you. Say for example, for a student, just 12th pass, just graduate or studying in the bachelor's, isn't it? For them, the most important thing is to be skilled, to acquire these skill sets, increase their employability so that they can get a good job. It is not important, it's not good for them that they waste much of the time on the social media, but it is happening and somehow we are not being able to control it. This is one part, right? We were told that when social media, I'm not discouraging people to use social media, right? I'm not criticizing it, but because you asked, I'm highlighting the other side of the coin, other side of the technology. This is also the reality, na? Technology is allowing for, for universities and higher education institutions to have learning management system. At the same time, it is technology which students are using for wasting their time also. So it is the reality. We cannot keep our eyes closed, right? It will not solve our problem if we keep our eyes closed. The only thing is that how can we use the technology so that our students, our young brains, because young brains are the future of the country, right? It is important for any country, including Zambia, to make sure that their youngsters, their young brains, their young energies are not wasting their time. If they are into the college, they are not finished their education, it is important for them to stay tuned to their career objectives. But it is easy said than done, right? As you think, bad things attract more, right? So this is other way around. Another thing, maybe like the funny incident, right? If you allow me, I can share, right? Me and my wife were sitting in the same room, isn't it? Right? We were watching television and then we started, checking our WhatsApp. She was also checking her WhatsApp, right? Yeah. And then she sent me some message and I responded her on the WhatsApp. She's sitting next to me.
Oh my goodness.
Right? She's sitting next to me, but we are talking through WhatsApp. Is it a good idea, right?
No.
For the personal relationship and the interpersonal relationship skills also, it is not a very good idea. Socializing with people on the virtual world will give you the virtual relationship. Yeah. But remember and remind you continuously that virtual relationships are virtual. They will put you under different kinds of stress. Nowadays, what I'm observing, if you upload a photo on the social media and you expected that there will be 500 likes, there come only 100 likes, you get into stress.
And if you don't get those reactions, you're stressed. You keep checking how many people liked my post and
get stressed. So exactly. This is the side when the technology is, you are not using it, it is using you. So in such circumstances, the technology become monster. But having said that, we cannot avoid and overlook the positive side of technology also, because it is technology only which has allowed us to interact with the students, living far away from our locations, which is not possible for them to come and have education. Now it is made available to them. So everything has two sides. And technology also, right? If we use it judiciously, it's very good, right? It can bring in a lot of changes in a person's life. But if it is using us, it is dangerous phenomenon because we don't know where to put the full stop, right? Particularly, even like people and you and me, right? Because we are little mature, so we can know that, okay, fine. In one day, I might not be spending more than half an hour, more than 1 hour on social media, but youngsters, they don't. Youngsters, they don't have that much maturity level. For them, friendship, the world, which is making them comfort, right, is more important for them. So it is difficult for them to be too mature and to respond to these things. So in that case, I believe the parents and the educators, like faculties like me, I quite often address this problem in my classes also, right? I make them realize that what is good for them and what is important for them and where to put a full stop on anything, including social media, including technology. Say, for example, what I have seen that even if they are not looking for any relevant information, just they are randomly checking something on the technological and digital platforms. Even they are reading newspapers on the mobile phones. It is a good idea. According to me, it is not a good idea. Reason: if you read something from the virtual platform, it will not stay there in your mind for a long period of time, right? You might lose it. But if you are reading something from the paper, right, it will stay there in your unconscious mind. So whenever you are looking for that piece of information, that automatically will pop up when you need it. So that is the beauty when you're reading it from the paper, right? So it is good to be in favor of technology. I'm not saying either or relationship, right? But I'm saying everything will have two sides, good as well as bad. So is the case with the technology. But it is having more brighter side than that of the dark side, right? Considering the dark sides, the bright sides are more, the benefits are more. And the dark side also can be controlled to a large extent by educating our children, by educating our children at our home as a parent, and by educating them in the universities and education institutions and schools as a faculty resource. We can make them realize that this is not good for them. And I'm sure they will listen to it.
Isn't it also true, Doc, that it makes them, the students or learners, lazy, because by the end of the day, we see a situation where there is these, things like ChatGPT and whatnot, which literally can write an essay for you. How do you manage such things at the university?
This is an interesting thing. I deliberately did not address to this artificial intelligence part of the technology, right? But because now you want me to explain, it's a very dangerous trend, right? As an educator, what I'm highlighting, what I have observed that when you give some assignment to the students, they will just go to the ChatGPT. They will write some keywords and ChatGPT will write it, isn't it? What is happening over here, right? If everything is made available to the students, right, it hinders and obstructs the mental capacities and mental growth of a student, right? Like when you when you become parents, isn't it? When your child is young, very very young, right? And you become overprotective to them. So when you become overprotective to your children, right? You think that you are doing good to them, but what you are taking out of them is their capacity to struggle. You might be protective, but for how long you can protect them? Because you are their parents, of course, they have to make a space for themselves. They have to have their own career. You cannot live throughout your life with them. You are older than them. You will go before them, isn't it? By becoming overprotective to your children, you incapacitate them, right, from facing the struggle and the competition. Likewise, this is happening in the education institution because it is a free, open source tools available to everybody. So what students are doing, they are, as I said, everyone wants to get into comfort zone. If you give them some assignment, instead of brainstorming on it, right, what they will do, they will go to the ChatGPT, give the task to ChatGPT. In second, ChatGPT will give them some the drafted answer. But they don't realize that what they are losing. They are losing their mental capacities, right? They are not building capacities in their mind, right? They are refining a tool. ChatGPT is getting updated. ChatGPT is refining itself. You see, I remember that before 3-4 years, ChatGPT was not giving you that accurate answer that it is giving to you today. So how the accuracy has been arrived or have been achieved by ChatGPT? By this kind of things. You ask something, first answer is wrong. You say, I'm not happy. Second after comes. You say, also, I'm not happy. Third, and that's how gradually even artificial intelligence has improved to be close to exact, to be close to precision, right? But what is being lost? You condition your young minds not to think, which is not a great idea, right? Again, as I highlighted and I said just before a few minutes, that when you are using technologies is good, but ChatGPT is a technology which start using you, The moment you give it a command to write assignment, to write a topic, write a research article or anything, you are not using it. Today it is looking that you are using it, but after 5 years, it will use you. Reason, you will not have capacity. You will lose your skill sets to condition your mind, right? And mind be, if you are not controlling your mind start controlling you. And everything try to get into comfort zone, and mind is no exception. Mind also don't want to get out of the comfort zone, right? Like say for example, if you want to get up early in the morning, your mind always don't allow you unless you condition your mind. Okay, fine, no, it is important for me to get early in the morning, isn't it? I want to do something productive in my life, so I need to get up early in the morning. First reaction of mind is, it doesn't let you wake up early in the morning, right? But then if you condition it, if you start reading and controlling your mind, then mind act like a very obedient servant. It becomes very productive, and mind has huge, unmeasurable, unfathomable capacities, right? So you can use your mind to unprecedented things. But what damage is being done by the artificial intelligence like ChatGPT and others, I'm not criticizing the technology. What I'm highlighting over here, before you become expert of using the ChatGPT is a tool. So before you become expert of using a tool started using you, it means that you will never become expert. People who have created this LLM model, right, or maybe ChatGPT or other artificial intelligence tool, because they are already expert of their area. But that is not the case with somebody who is studying in class 10th. They are not expert, right? So if you made everything available to them through uses of artificial intelligence tools, in the long term, they will realize that they have incapacitated their mind. They have not trained their mind to face the competition and to come up with the requisite things, right? Like, you want to write an application. If you write by yourself, or your father or mother write it for you, or ChatGPT write it for you. When you write it by yourself, what you acquire is not the letter. What you acquire is not the draft. What you have written is the skill that is mind has been achieved, or mind is achieving, isn't it, with the passage of time? So artificial intelligence for the school goers, I believe, if technology has been created and grown to that level, there must be certain norms and procedures should also come into the picture, so that school goers at least should not be able to use these things because it incapacitates them. They can use it as a tool when they grow up, when they mature, when they know how to use the tool, right? Those who have invented such kind of technology, it was not available to them, and that is the reason that they could invent such kind of technology today. If this would have been made available to them, maybe their mind would not even thought of what logic should I put in, so that if any question is asked, the tool may be able to frame an answer accordingly. Because their brain think it first. It is happening other way around. Tool is thinking first. You just have a problem statement with you, but not the solution. Tool is thinking for the solution, not your brain, right? And so your brain is just reading it, getting into the comfort zone. It means that in the long term, you will see the skill sets will not get acquired by the people, and therefore it will affect their employability to large extent. It will be very difficult for them to get a quality job in the time to come, right? It is reflected. It is already started reflecting in various areas, various countries. Like in various countries I have seen, students have passed out their graduate programs or master's programs, isn't it? But they don't acquire the skill sets. They are not an employable resource. Jobs are there, right? But you don't have the skill sets to get them. Companies are struggling, right, to hire somebody, right? But then they don't find somebody who is a suitable job fit for the required kind of job responsibilities or job portfolios. So in the long term, I believe that in the college and the school education, there must be certain things, there must be certain procedures, so that the students are not using these artificial things, artificial intelligence. Rather, they should use their natural intelligence given to them. They should take these technological advancements as a tool, maybe after some time, right? Let us train their brain naturally, so that they know how to control the technology, so that it doesn't happen that technology become monster tomorrow, it starts using people.
Controlling, right. Yeah. To those that are joining us, you are watching the National Economic Indaba Show, and we are very excited that you have made time to join us. Those that are joining us via our social media platforms, you are welcome to the program, and thank you so much for making time to join us. Now, Doc, how do you measure the impact of your programs, on the economic growth and development in Zambia?
Okay. Okay, let me put it like this. Like when you are doing something good, when you're doing something which is really contributing to the economic development of a country, it should be reflected somewhere. Right? It's not like that not like that I come with a piece of paper, okay, fine, this is the thing which I am contributing to the Zambian economy, or this is the thing I am doing which is having a lot of benefits to the Zambian economy, right? It should be reflected on the ground somewhere, right? So whatever as an higher education institution or maybe as a university, whatever we are doing, right, we are training students in the areas of medicine, management, and the public health, right? And our students are, we offer programs in two modes, right? We offer programs in online mode as well as on-campus methods also, right? Now, our students who are pursuing their respective programs in online method, many of them are working professionals, right? So when they're working and they stuck into getting the vertical promotion. Say, for example, all organizations are pyramidal shape, right? At the top, you will see the top management, and then middle management, lower management, and the people working on the bottom of the pyramid, right? If you want to grow up in the hierarchical levels, you need to scale up. You have to acquire the complex skill sets. Only then you can go up from the bottom to the top in the hierarchy, right? Now, in the online method, we have many students who are working professional and working maybe in the lower management, middle management, and they are aspiring to be part of the top management or senior management, right? They join our management programs. We skill them up, cultivate superior skill sets in them. After completing our programs, they are able to get the promotions in their respective organizations. So they are into the leadership job roles, right? And our students who are studying the on-campus programs, they are just freshers. They are just 12th pass out, isn't it? So when they apply for the bachelor program, right, like BBA, we offer BBA program, right, Bachelor in Business Administration. So when they apply for it and when they develop themselves while they are pursuing their BBA program, we are cultivating a lot of management skills in their mind. Right? Now, how it will reflect as a contribution from my university side to the Zambian economy, if my students are getting placed, this is one reflection, right? Another reflection, before they pass their program, what Textile American University is contributing to the Zambian economy is when my students are getting opportunities to be a part of internship, right? Say, like this student is just in the second year or third year, right? Now, when we approach the organizations and request them to let our students have internship, and when they accept our request, it is a reflection that our students have something to contribute to their development. Right. And when they are able to contribute to the organizational development, and the organization is developing and growing, earning more revenues, getting more sales, where the benefit will come? The benefit will come to the Zambian economy, right? So this, whatever we are doing in the campus, either on-campus programs or in the digital programs or online programs, isn't it? Blended programs. Our contribution is reflected in these two important propositions. Our students are getting jobs after passing the programs. They are getting a lot of internship opportunities and contributing to the organization even before they pass out the program. Another reflection of our excellence of the Textile American University is our students pursuing online program for skilling up and growing and developing and progressing in their respective careers. They're getting into the leadership job roles, right? So these are the important on-ground reflections of the contributions made by Textile American University through various programs to the Zambian economy. I'm sure you will see in the time to come, you name an organization and you will find that there is somebody who is Textilian, proud Textilian, right? They are educated by Textile American University, Zambia. It will not be good if I name a couple of organizations over here, government and the private, but I have seen there are many students who are not only working at the initial levels because they are freshers, they are working on the leadership job role. So this is a big contribution from the Textile American University to the Zambian economy, and it is evidence in itself. It's not like that I'm coming with a piece of paper, okay, fine, this is the contribution made by the Textile American University. No, right? It is the contribution made to the Zambian economy. It is visible on ground also. This is the true reflection, I must say, this is the true reflection of Textile American University's contribution to economic growth of Zambia.
Great stuff. Now we've taken time to talk about how education can spur economic growth. I would like also for us to talk about education as a business. How do you think universities can balance the need for academic rigor with the demands of business-driven approach to education?
That's a very tricky question. I must appreciate this question, and that's a very difficult question, or that's a very relevant question also. Okay. Like, how it is relevant, let me tell you, let me put it like this. maybe 10 years before. Today we have around 25 universities in Lusaka only, in this area only, right? 25 to 30 if I am not wrong, right? Approximate number, right? 10 years before it was not the number, right? And after 10 years it will not be the same number, right? Now most university and higher education institutions are centered around Lusaka, capital city. After some time you will see that they will start spreading, right? And they will start making their presence in the different parts of Zambia, other parts of Zambia also, right? Now, it is important for them. See, if it is a government university, it's okay because it is funded by the government, right? Right? It is no private money. So even if it is not getting return on their investment, it is fine with them because government is there to help them out. But it is not the case with the private education. Private universities and private higher education institutions, some entrepreneur has identified a gap that, okay, fine, there is a huge gap in terms of education needs or education needs of this country. Let me invest my money. I'm taking a risk by investing my money as a promoter of a university or higher educational institution, right? Now, if I'm taking risk by investing my money, it is important for me to ensure that my project, my higher education institution, my university must be commercially viable. Because if it failed, nobody will come to help me. No government will give me any bailout package, right? I'm not going to get any help from anybody. I will be in a complete mess if I lose it. So it is important for any institution, including higher education institutions, the private universities, to make sure that their business model, their education system is commercially viable. Because if it is not commercially viable, it cannot sustain, it cannot survive. At the same time, education is something you should not compromise with the quality. Therefore, it is important for the private universities and higher education institutions to make a balance between these two. How can you make a balance, right? There are two approaches to look at this return on investment aspect or achieving a break-even point, right? One thing, if the promoter of the organization is somebody who is looking at the profit maximization as a philosophy, I have invested X amount of money, I need return on my money as soon as possible. In that case, I will not be concerned about the quality of education. I will compromise with the quality of education. I'll just get them pass. Everybody who is coming to me, I'll just make them pass. It means that what is happening? They might be getting return on their investment in this short span of time, but they are not being able to cultivate the required skill sets in these students. So what will happen? When the student will take admission in such institutions, they will not get developed, they will not acquire skill sets, and when they pass the program, they will not get placed also. They will not get jobs, right? It means that today, for the short time, it might look that you are getting returns on your investment that you made. Now, you broaden the horizon of this time zone. What Texila is doing, what I'm highlighting over here, what I'm sharing my experience, my organizational experience, my management expectation, right? They have not looked return on their investment in a short horizon. Rather, they have strategized and they were, I must appreciate the Texila management, that they were kind enough to look into the long-term vision of their initiative. I'm not looking for the returns on my investment in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. My philosophy is not profit maximization. Texila management philosophy is not profit maximization. I'm proud to say that Texila management is focusing on value creation aspect, right? We are looking for commercial viability, not in a short span of time or short horizon of time zone. We are looking a sustainable business model in the long term, ensuring that we are commercially viable system. And how do we ensure commercial viability for our system? Because it is important. If we cannot manage the cost, we cannot survive. We cannot survive, we cannot run, isn't it? How do we ensure that Texila focus on a cost aspect? We address our cost aspect and cost proposition through efficiency. Our systems have been standardized. Our systems have been made, efficient, so that we don't waste any resource. Because we are not wasting any resource, we are using technology to save that, right? Because we are not wasting any resource, so we thrive on efficiency. Not in the short span of time, but in the long run, we are looking that someday we will be hugely profitable venture. At the same time, we don't compromise with the quality of education because we understand this loop. And what is the loop? One student come to Texila University today, get developed in 4 years program, right? Maybe 5 years program, whatever the duration of the program is. There are different durations for the different programs. So whatever the duration of the program is, the student get developed. And when they pass out the program, are they being able to get a job, right? Means we are managing our cost through efficiency orientation, through standardization, through formalization of our processes. At the same time, we are ensuring the high quality job, because we understand that because if this loop got disturbed, like my student come to me today, after 4 years, when this student goes back to the society looking for a job and the job is not available to them, what will happen to my institution? A bad word of mouth will spread. It means that the number of students who are coming to me today after 4 years, they will not come to me. Reason, my students are not getting placed. I'm not cultivating employability skills among them. So what seems to be profitable today after 4 years might not be the same scenario. So Textile American University is creating a balance through efficiency, standardization and formalization of its processes. At the same time, addressing the quality education needs of the students also, because we cannot overlook it. We survive only by providing quality education, because if our quality education is able to cultivate the skill sets among the students, they will get placed and the positive word of mouth will spread for the university. And that's how the loop will continue, right? So we are not looking in a short horizon, right? We are looking sustainability of our business model, efficiency in terms of cost, commercial viability of our programs and systems, and also at the same time, the quality of education without compromising on standards of quality in any terms, in anything.
Great stuff. So, what partnerships has your university established with industry partners to enhance the employability of your graduates?
Oh, that's important. Particularly, it is very important when it comes to, address the needs of the business management students, right? Say, for example, like medicine practitioners, that's the different needs, right? Public health, different needs, right? But for business management students, we provide them different kind of exposures. And what are these different kind of exposures, right? We try to inculcate requisite types of skill sets among them, say, for example, through various methods, through various things, right? Like we invite the guests from the industry. We collaborate with the industry, right? Say, for example, ICTAS, we have signed memorandum of understanding. Zaki, we have signed memorandum of understanding, right? ZMA, we have signed memorandum of understanding. And apart from these associations, we are also signing memorandum of understanding with the individual organizations also, industry players also, right? And how does it benefit to our students? These association collaborations and collaborations with the standalone industrial partners, industrial organizations, allow our students to go for internship programs, right? We invite workshops, right, wherein the speakers and the experts from these associations and the industrial standalone organizations, we invite them. These so-called experts, right, they come to our campus and they share their experience, right? What and how the things are happening in the real time in the industry. So our students are getting the real-time exposure. This is one way. Another thing is, these collaborations with the associations and with the industrial organizations, isn't it, standalone industrial organizations, helps our students to generate internships, to get employment, right? And particularly through internships, right? We have a lot of, internships available to the students, right? We have the capstone projects, we have the mini projects also. And when the students are doing internships, mini projects, capstone projects, they are not doing it by themselves. They are doing it and conducting and writing the reports and projects under the guidance of a qualified faculty member, right? So that is how we are trying to fill the gap in terms of providing the hands-on experience to our students. And in this exercise, our collaborations, our memorandum of understanding that we signed with the industry, with the associations, with the different organizations, really helps us a lot. Our students are getting a lot of benefits of these collaborations.
Great stuff. So, how do universities, and in particular this time, the Texila University, foster entrepreneurship and innovation, and what support systems are in place for the students who want to start their own businesses?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. You see, it is important for any country, if they want to economically develop, isn't it? To make sure that enabling and supporting environment for entrepreneurship is made available to them. You see, what makes America the largest economy in the world, right? If you compare American contribution to the world GDP, it is almost, if I recall it correctly, it is almost $30 trillion. Okay. Can you imagine who is the second largest? The second largest contribution comes from China. It is almost close to 19 trillion. Can you imagine the gap between these two economies? It's a huge. So if you compare the other countries of the world, even they will not be visible in front of America. But what makes America, or what gives America this much large and big status? It is not the government of America. It is the entrepreneurs who are running businesses in the country, right? Most, the big companies are coming from America. Not that America is supporting their companies and preparing and drafting the business plan for their companies. No, it's the people living therein. They come up with the unique, innovative ideas, and the government of America, United States government, has made enabling environment which is suitable for the entrepreneurs. They can plan their business, develop in their business, and the government's role is just to support them to do what they want to do, isn't it? Likewise, for any country, if they want to grow, they have to make sure that an enabling environment for entrepreneurs in that country is made available to the entrepreneurs, right? What we are doing as an educational institution, as a university, in my school of business at Texas American University, what we are doing in our programs like BBA, in our programs like BSc Marketing, in our programs like MBA, irrespective of the specialization, what the students have been chosen for themselves, isn't it? We specifically designed a course on entrepreneurship with the title of entrepreneurship, right? This course title is entrepreneurship. We teach it to everyone, irrespective of their specialization.
Okay, so even medical students have entrepreneurship?
Not medical. I'm talking about school of business, right? Because what the medical students will do after once they are studying the entrepreneurship, right? I'm talking about the school of business courses, right? Particularly BBA and MBA. So whatever specialization they are choosing for themselves, we teach them about entrepreneurship. Now, in this course, what we do, we sensitize them about entrepreneurship, how an entrepreneur should think of a problem, right? How they can identify a gap, which has the commercial potential in it, right? It should be commercially viable, otherwise there's no use for this business idea, right? So this is one way, right? We are teaching students on the entrepreneurship aspect. This is one way. Other way, we have entrepreneurship development cell. Now this entrepreneurship development cell has students as a member, and faculties also are the part of it, right? So we encourage the students as just maybe if they have serious plan, it is very good. If they don't have even serious plan, they want to play a game, say for example, business manager, where the students will come up with their business plans, right? And their business plans are scrutinized by our faculty members. We discuss with them what are the merits in their business plan and what are the loopholes still they need to work on that, right? So we train our students, all management students particularly, on entrepreneurship. Also, we are trying to hand-holding, right? For those who have some merit or meritorious entrepreneurial idea. We encourage them. What it all takes to encourage them, to make them believe that their idea has merit, right? See, what happens generally when these students, they have a lot of ideas. When they share their entrepreneurial idea or business idea with somebody, the first reaction comes from this somebody is they discourages them. True. All it need to encourage them, right? So what we think, we just find out the merit in the business ideas, and we try to encourage them to pursue these larger goals, because if they start taking risk today, the rewards will be unimaginable. They can get what they have not even thought of in their career, right? So this is how we are addressing the entrepreneurial need of Zambia. Very much it is addressed at the Texas American University in our programs, particularly management programs.
That, just out of fun, Doc, maybe indulge me. Don't you think it would be fun if even your medical students are taught entrepreneurship? Don't you think that entrepreneurship is the way to go? Imagine a person who is doing medicine, then they have entrepreneurship as a course. Then after they finish their medicine, they'll be, practicing medical doctors, but also doing entrepreneurship on the side. Wouldn't that be very helpful?
Might be, but what I'm thinking, what is my observation, right? Like as I said, we teach entrepreneurship to the management student, not to the medicine student, right? But what you are highlighting, I don't know whether it might work or it might not work, because coming from the management background, I cannot reject any idea or, how, irrespective of whether it has merit or not, because you don't know which idea is going to work. Because I have seen so many times that apparently what we think that this idea is a rejectionable idea. It has no merit. It will not work. but that becomes a huge success. So I have a habit of, because coming from that area, I have a habit of not rejecting any idea. Maybe if we teach some sort of entrepreneurship to the medicine student, maybe it might encourage them to establish the healthcare institutions, right? Like, but how do I look at this problem, right? How do I look at this problem? Quite often I used to talk to my students about this also, because our medicine program is a very famous program, right? Seats are always filled. So what I used to address this gap, doctor's job is to cure the ailments. Doctor's job is to practice medicine, not to run the business, right? But hospital is an organization that has to ensure that it has commercial viability. It should be profitable. If it is not profitable, it cannot survive. Unfortunately, because medicine is so demanding as a discipline, so demanding as a job, that you will not, as a practitioner, you will not be able to save much time to manage the hospital. So how the hospitals can be managed? Hospitals can be managed by somebody who has some knowledge of healthcare system, right? And they have the management skill sets. I'm not saying that doctors are not being able, or they are not good to manage these things. Generally, if you see, when it comes to hospitals or establishing the hospitals, it is generally promoted by the doctors. But doctors still keep busy in practicing medicine. So what they do, how do they manage this organization? They hire the management practitioners, right? So management, because it is interdisciplinary by approach, right? So management in practitioners can help the medicine practitioners to help them to construct and establish large healthcare organizations. So that's why I don't think so whether it will be a good idea at the moment. It looks to me, it might have some merit, maybe, right? It might look funny at the moment because nobody has tried it. But what if some organization try it, maybe it may click tomorrow.
And then I will be the first to have brought it to your attention. So, Doc, what are the biggest challenges facing higher education in Zambia in your view?
Okay, what I think, as I already highlighted, because Zambian economy is facing challenges. Not only Zambia, other countries are also facing the challenges, right? To me, because most of the higher education institutions are centered around this part, Lusaka, right? Other parts of Zambia do not have the strong presence of private universities, government universities, or higher education institutions, right? So I believe accessibility to education is one big challenge, right? We were talking about technology, right? But then I don't know what is the technology infrastructure developed in the far northern part of Zambia or other parts of Zambia. We are living in a capital city of Zambia, so maybe things might be different. But when you go to the remote areas, maybe rural areas, the IT infrastructure might not be up to that standard, right? Like in the capital, right? People might be getting difficult to stay connected with the internet. So first big challenge which occurs to me in the entire Zambian context I'm talking about is accessibility to education because of the limitations, such limitations, okay? Another thing, because of the economic and financial constraints, what I believe, affordability of the programs also, right? You see, there are two aspects to look at a problem. In human resource domain, there is a very funny maxim, I'll share it. If you distribute peanuts, you will get monkeys only.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, that's funny.
If you distribute peanuts, you will get monkeys only. What I'm saying, what I'm highlighting, with no intention of, disrespecting or degenerating status of anybody in the world, right? What I'm highlighting, if you want to design a program which is at par with the world education system, it's going to be little expensive, right? Quality is always expensive. Quantity, if you focus on this, right? So if you don't want to focus and don't want to make sure that your quality educational standards are at par with the world, you might be able to offer them at a cheaper cost. But at the same time, it will not be helpful for you in the long term at the global level, because world is going to be corrected at a larger pace in the time to come. So you have to make sure that you are at par with other parts of the world also, right? So affordability of the program, because of Zambian economy into the different stage now it is developing, I believe in the 5 years to come, the situation will change drastically. There are people who have the huge paying capacity, but there are people, we should accept that there are people in all countries, not only in Zambia, in all countries who cannot afford quality education, because quality education seems to be out of reach, right? How do we address this gap at Taxila, right? As you ask me, right, what are the two important challenges, right? The important challenges are accessibility to quality education. The another is affordability to that quality education, right? But we at Taxila try to address this gap also, access to quality education we have addressed by providing and using the digital platforms, right? I'm not sure for remote areas and rural areas how it is working and how the students are coping up with that. But my understanding is because our students are coming from the different parts of Zambia and other countries, and we are able to connect with them successfully. Right, our online classes are running successfully. I myself take PhD classes where the students connect from the different parts, isn't it? And I don't face any problem. It means that they are doing it successfully, right? They are doing it up to the satisfaction. Now, affordability, right? When the students find it little difficult to, when they face the financial constraints, right? We don't force them to pay our fees at one go, right? We have flexible payment plans, right? That support these students so that they can arrange the funding for their education. Or maybe if their parents are arranging funding for their education, it is easy for them also to survive. So there are two important challenges: accessibility to quality education and the affordability of education. But at Texila, somehow we are able to address it so far by infusing technology in our system and by providing the flexible payment plans to our students also. So these are the few things and challenges, and how do we handle these challenges?
Great stuff. If you are just joining us, you are watching the National Economic Indaba show, and we are in the dying minutes of the show. So, Doc, I have just one last question for you. What sets Texila University, apart from the other institutions of higher education, and what unique strengths, does it offer the students?
See, I must appreciate Texila for being truly international in character, right? So what Texila uniquely offer to its student is the international exposure. Like our group is not present only in Zambia, right? We are present in Nicaragua, we are present in India, we are present in other parts of Africa, we are present in Guyana also, right? So because we are truly international group, we club our resources. Right? We club our resources, academic resources, non-academic resources, learning resources, everything we are clubbing, right? We are sharing this, right? So the first very important and unique contribution that Texila is making by providing its students the truly international exposure. This is the first thing. Another thing, the quality of education. As I said, I was reflecting about, I was mentioning about the affordability of the education also. We at Texila uniquely handle this issue by developing a very robust and strong learning management system, and the library resources also, e-library resources also, right? We help our students not to spend money on the expensive textbooks, right? All our content material is uploaded on the learning management system, which is available to the students 24/7 basis to the level and the locations of their comfort, right? Free of cost, isn't it? We don't charge anything extra for that. Apart from the content uploaded on the LMS, we also have a very strong and wide and comprehensive database available in our library also. The on-campus students can access the library, they can get the book issued, isn't it? And then our students learning from on the online platform also, we give them the remote access of our library resources, right? We have softwares like Lecturio and others, and the huge database of ebooks, and the huge databases of, research databases also, right? It is available to the students free of cost. So another unique contribution is the learning resource available to them, right? Third important unique offering from the Texila to the students studying at Texila is the real-time exposure. Our medicine students are getting real-time exposures, right, through the clinical rotations, isn't it? Our management students are getting real-time exposure through internships and through placement, through workshops, guest lectures, not only from Zambia, but also from other parts of the world also. We invite the practitioners of the management from other parts of the world, like in the past 2-3 months, I've invited guests from America, Germany, Ukraine, UK, even India, right? Of course, African experts are part and parcel of our day-to-day routines, so we invite them quite often. So these are the few important things that are unique with respect to Texila. Our technology-oriented courses, the quality of courses also I would like to highlight, right? How do we make sure that our courses are quality, providing quality education, and they are at par with the global standards of education, right? It is reflected in accreditation of our various programs through the international agencies, right? Our programs are not only accredited by the HE and the local agencies, but our programs are accredited by the international agencies also. So that is a kind of reflection that some unique and innovative things we are doing, we are offering, we are practicing, and we are contributing to the development of the students. And ultimately, this contribution goes to the development of Zambian economy and Zambia as a country also.
Great stuff. Well, Doc, it's been a very interesting, informative, and educative discussion that we have had. And as usual, thank you so much that you came through to the program.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Well, there you have it, our esteemed viewers. Today on the National Economic Indaba show, we had Dr. Raghvendra Sharma, who is the Dean of the School of Business at the Texila American University. My name is Nakiwe Simpungwa, being your host, and until Monday when we bring to you yet another exciting guest on the show, it is a good evening from us.
Imagine having access to the latest news at your fingertips. Introducing the newly rebranded and improved Daily Nation website. With our innovative online flipping page feature, you can read the newspaper just like you would in print. Plus, with our subscription-based model, you will get access to exclusive content, archives, and more. So why wait? Sign up now and experience the future of news. Daily Nation, now at your fingertips.